If you're a heating and air conditioning technician or even a salesperson, are there times where you shouldn't make the sale even though that you know that you can? And why does this matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Sylvan Bell, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business and a fantastic day to talk about you. Coming to you live from the Delta. No wakeboard boats tonight, no jet skis, but that's okay. This is probably one of the most important bedrock foundational concepts that any salesperson, entrepreneur, CEO really needs to recognize, and that there's times where you don't make the sale. There's times where it's not the right thing for your client, it's not the right thing for your buyer, and sometimes you have to make adaptations. And I'll share with you where this conversation came from. In the last 4 days, I've had 3 different people tell me a story about a company here in Sacramento selling systems to elderly people at like crazy numbers. Now, I wasn't there. I don't know all the details, but it's not a coincidence. It's not something that I take lightly for this reason. Trust is a series of events that happens over time. And so for you, if you work for an organization or you have an organization, the people that work there either will keep that trust flowing or they will cause doubt to happen. Now, I know that there's no such thing as 100%. Every once in a while, you're going to run into somebody who's got a problem. But if you've had consistent action over time and people trust you, and then all of a sudden they don't, something is fundamentally wrong in your business. Something is fundamentally wrong with your process. Something's fundamentally wrong with your training. And I have no problem saying this out loud. I mean, a lot of people just say, just give me the money and I'll teach your people. And, sometimes companies will say, just teach my people and we don't care about this. I'm going to share some numbers with you that what I refer to are super importante. And this is it. You can spend 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years building a reputation about your company in a town, in an area, in a state, or national. You can lose it in 6 weeks or less. It could be faster than that. But the general time that it takes is an event happens inside of a company. Hey, salespeople, we need revenue. Do and say anything possible to make magic happen. And it's short-sighted, because what ends up happening is in the long run, it burns out the marketplace. Now, with digital and social media, it happens faster. 20 years ago, it could take 6 months. Today, if it's done excessively wrong, it could be done overnight. Now, here's the thing. If you want to be better at sales, you want to be good at what you do, you should absolutely join my email publication. Go to this URL right here, type it into a browser, drop in your name, your email address, and your phone number. I'll give you the goods. Not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel, which means private coaching, private training, discounted coaching, discounted training. It's an email publication. And occasionally, I let you know, I try to sell you stuff. That's how I pay for my bad habits, trips to Hawaii, Aloha shirts, ribeye steaks, medium rare. I see this trend in some of the industries that I work in and around, that if all else fails, do whatever it takes to close the deal. If all else fails, say whatever it takes to make magic happen. And like I said, revenue right now, oh boy, you get your numbers. You get to put that number in an Excel file. In the future, you're going to be begging and wishing that you could put a number in an Excel file because people don't trust you. Let me tell you a story. Probably about 7 years ago, there was a hit piece put out on a heating and air company in Sacramento. And so what they did, they being the news crews, called out 6, 7, 8 companies to come look at a piece of equipment. And so the camera crews there, they had somebody go look at the piece of equipment and go through, check the contactor, the on and off switch, the capacitor, the backup source of energy, the compressor, the heart of the system, and the coil and the refrigerant. And they gave it like, psh, everything's all good, super bueno, right? And so what they did was they called 7 companies to come out, and 6 of the 7 passed the quiz. 6 of the 7 said, there's no problem here. You probably have a trip breaker. They fixed the breaker. Or you had a disconnected contactor. They connected the contactor. And then one company, they were after this company too, I'll tell you. They were after this company. One company comes out and says, hey, I guarantee if you don't put this part in, your system's going to fail. Well, for 2 years, every other company in town had to put up with the drama that was caused by XYZ company that was S no bueno. So the reason I tell you this is if you want to build distrust in a marketplace really fast, do the wrong thing for your buyer. Now, here's the thing. If you're looking like, hey, I want to hire a sales coach or a sales trainer or a sales training expert for my industry and my service, one of the questions you should really be asking is, tell me about your ethics and morals. Tell me about what you think is right versus what you think is wrong. Do you think that anybody should say and do anything to make a sale? And do you really live by that in your life? Do you say it on stage and then, Or is it like, hey, this is a hard, fast rule for me? In pretty much all of my videos, 1,000 of them, on my heating and air conditioning channel, at least 250 of those videos, I talk about, hey, you have to do the right thing for your client, right? And so sometimes this is what this looks like. You have 3 products. You've got good, better, best. And at the end of the day, the person that you're meeting with doesn't need the best. They don't need the better. They're okay with the good. And so trust is the salesperson, the sales rep saying, time out. Listen, in this situation, you don't need option 2 or option number 3. Option number 1 will do just fine for you. Option number 1 is probably the best thing that you can do. Option number 1, just take it. But, at the end of the day, sometimes what happens is in these companies where commission gets positioned or there's a bigger ownership group where you have to perform, it comes down to dog eat dog, and a company will burn out their entire database in 6 weeks or less so that they can stay on top, so that they can have bragging rights at the bar, so that they can keep their job. Like I could list a whole bunch of things, but at the end of the day, trust. Trust is the foundation of everything you do. And you have to realize that there are some posers out there in the sales world that will do anything. And you pick an industry, doesn't matter. Pick a service, doesn't matter. There's good trainers and good coaches in every industry, and then a few bad apples that ruin it for everybody. Doesn't matter the product, doesn't matter the service. Do what you can to be on the right side. I could think of probably the most painful memory that I have is when I was a kid and my dad pulled me aside and said, Scott, you've lost my trust. You're going to have to earn it back. Followed by the times that he was disappointed in me. But like, if I could think of like one that's way at the top, it's like, hey, you lost my trust. And when an entire marketplace does that, when an entire town or area or county or state, I live in California, the state's huge. Some of those states are like, California's like, right? You've got a major problem. You got 1 of 3 things to do from here. Just 1 of 3. Find the subscribe button, click on it, and every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. Share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.